Second pulse, the scalpel slipped from Dr. Ethan Cross's bloodied hand, clattering against asphalt. His white coat bloomed crimson where the knife had pierced his liver. Third stab wound, upper right quadrant. Hypovolemic shock imminent, his medical brain autopsied even as his knees buckled. "You killed her," roared Thomas Vale, the Iraq War veteran whose daughter's ashes Ethan had watched scatter 6 months prior. "You butchered my Clara." Ethan's vision tunneled. The hospital parking lot's fluorescence haloed Vale's gaunt face, a face Ethan had seen 1,000 times since the trial. In news clips. In nightmares. In the rearview mirror, every time he dared drive to the grocery store. "I tried," Ethan rasped, but the lie curdled on his tongue. He had tried. But he'd also been arrogant. Exhausted. Blind to the Vitoli's vials lot numbers, to Laura's too quick hands in the supply room, to the way Chief Donovan had smiled like a gambler holding aces when signing the surgery waiver. Vale twisted the knife. The intercom's bark jolted Ethan awake. His hands flew to his abdomen, no wound, no blood. The digital clock read 6:14 a.m., October 17, 2014. He was alive. No, younger. The ache in his lower back was gone, replaced by the familiar stiffness of sleeping in the on-call room. His phone buzzed with a text from Rachel, his then-wife, "Dinner at 7. I'll make lasagna." Ethan stared at the date. Clara Vale's surgery day. "Appendectomy straightforward, Dr. Cross," said Laura Chen, the charge nurse, as they scrubbed in. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Vitals are stable. Mayor's daughter, so, protocols, right?" The OR hummed with the sterile rhythm Ethan once found comforting. Monitors beeped. The anesthesiologist, Dr. Park, scrolled through his phone, thumb swiping rapidly, deleting messages, Ethan realized with a chill. Clara, 12 years old, lay intubated. Her chart listed allergies: peanuts, latex, amoxicillin. "Heparinized saline," Ethan said, reaching for the scalpel. His hands shook. Last time, he'd cut here. Last time, he'd missed the early signs of septic shock. Last time, antibiotics, asked Laura, holding up a syringe labeled Vitoli's. Ethan froze. The vial's lot number, L7-9Q2. Different from the L7-9QZ he'd seen in his final, bloody moments. A single alphanumeric swap. A death sentence. "Wait." Ethan's voice cracked. "That's the wrong," Laura blinked. "Per protocol, doctor." The mayor insisted on Vitoli's. Dr. Park looked up, annoyed. "BP's dropping. Let's move." Ethan's pulse roared. Last time, he'd obeyed. Last time, he'd let the needle pierce Clara's foreline. Last time, he'd buried her. "Stop." He grabbed Laura's wrist. The syringe clattered to the floor. "This antibiotic will kill her." Monitors screamed. Clara's heart rate spiked. Chaos erupted. "What the hell, Cross?" Dr. Park yelled as nurses scrambled. Ethan ignored them, lunging for the crash cart. His mind raced: sepsis protocol, blood cultures, broad-spectrum antibiotics instead of Vitoli's. "Get Donovan in here." Laura barked, but Ethan was already tearing open a backup antibiotic kit. "Ethan, you're violating procedure." Her O2 sats crashing, a nurse shouted. Clara's fingers cyanosed. Ethan's own scars, future scars, throbbed. Too slow. Always too slow. "Epinephrine. Now," he ordered, though he had no authority left. "Not in this timeline. Not yet." The doors burst open. Chief Donovan's voice boomed, "Cross, step away from that patient." In the administrative office, Donovan's crocodile grin made Ethan's fists clench. A psychotic break. Ethan snarled. You know Vitalis is contaminated. You've always known. Donovan leaned back, steepling fingers. Prove it. The threat hung unspoken. Last time, we ruined you. We'll do it again. Ethan stood, chair screeching. Run the labs. Test vial L7-9Q2. Or I'll call the CDC myself. A beat. Donovan's eye twitched. You're suspended. Effective immediately. Rain sheeted the hospital parking lot. Same spot where Vale would kill him in 12 years. Ethan stared at his shaking hands. Could he even change fate? Then, his phone rang. Rachel's name flashed. Ethan. Her voice trembled. Clara Vale's father is here. He's asking for you. Ethan turned. Thomas Vale stood under flickering lights, eyes hollow. Not the vengeful ghost from Ethan's death memory, but a broken father clutching a teddy bear. They said you tried to save her, Vale whispered. Why? Thomas Vale's hands shook around the teddy bear, a faded blue thing with one button eye missing. Clara's, Ethan realized. The same bear he'd seen in crime scene photos after Vale's arrest. Why'd you stop the surgery? Vale repeated, rainwater dripping from his buzz cut. His camo jacket smelled of diesel and grief. Ethan's tongue felt leaden. Because last time, your daughter died screaming. Because I let her. Instead, he said, the antibiotics were contaminated. Vale's fist lashed out. Ethan flinched, but the blow never landed. The veteran's knuckles stopped an inch from his face, trembling. You think I'm a monster, Vale rasped. But I held her when she was born. Taught her to ride a bike. Then some doctor, his voice broke. Ethan's pager buzzed, a code blue alert from the ICU. Clara. They ran. Past gurneys and gaping nurses, Ethan skidded into Clara's room. Her O2 sat plummeted. Septic shock, he diagnosed, though it was too soon, unless they gave her Vitalis anyway. Who administered the antibiotics? Ethan barked, gloving up. Laura Chen stepped forward, chin raised. Per Chief Donovan's orders. You're suspended, Dr. Cross. Ethan didn't argue. He grabbed Clara's chart, flipping to lab results. C-reactive proteins off the charts. Get me vancomycin and a dialysis machine now. You'll kill her faster, Laura snapped, but Vale blocked her path. Let him try, the veteran growled. 3 a.m. found Ethan in the hospital basement, stealing blood samples. The lab door creaked. He froze, scalpel in hand, only to find Rachel, her blazer rumpled, holding a USB drive. Security footage, she whispered. From the night Clara first died. Ethan's breath caught. On the grainy video, Laura swapped medication vials in the OR supply closet. A man in a Vitalis farmer jacket handed her an envelope. Why show me this? Ethan asked. Rachel's eyes glistened. Because last week, you forgot our anniversary. Today, you risked your career to save a girl. Who are you now? He kissed her. A desperate, salt and regret kiss that tasted like second chances. Donovan cornered him at dawn. Clever stunt, Cross, the chief hissed, backing Ethan against the biohazard incinerator. But Vitalis owns the mayor. The FDA. Even your wife's law firm. Ethan's phone burned in his pocket, the USB drive inside. How much did they pay you to kill children? A sneer. Enough to retire after Clara's unfortunate relapse. The incinerator roared. Donovan lunged. Ethan fell backward, grabbing the chief's tie. They teetered at the furnace mouth, heat blistering skin. "You'll burn with me," Donovan choked. "No," Ethan headbutted him. "But you will." The stolen Vitoli's vial seared Ethan's palm as he sped toward an independent lab. Rain blurred the windshield. Rachel's voicemail played. "Ethan, the police are coming." "Donovan framed you for assault," tires screeched. A black SUV rammed his bumper. "Farmer enforcers." Ethan swerved into an alley, clipping dumpsters. The SUV followed, its headlights hunting him. A gunshot spiderwebbed his rear window. "Faster," he screamed at his rattling Civic. The engine died. Hands dragged him from the wreck. "Should have taken the payout, Doc," sneered the Vitoli's goon, a hulk with knuckle tattoos reading Purge. Ethan's nose broke under a punch. He spat blood, clutching the vial behind his back. "One chance." "Give it," the goon demanded. Ethan fake-lunged left, then smashed the vial on the right. Glass shards bit his palm as he scooped a blooded sample into his pocket. The gun cocked. "Drop him." Thomas Vale emerged from shadows, a tire iron in hand. Later, stitching Ethan's wounds in a VA hospital bathroom, Vale finally spoke. "In Fallujah, I lost my squad to faulty body armor. CEO said it met minimum standards." He tightened a bandage. "Sound familiar?" Ethan hissed as alcohol met glass cuts. "Clara's not a profit margin." Vale's laugh was hollow. "They'll bury you." "Unless," Ethan's phone lit up. Lab results. Vial L7-9Q2 contains endotoxins from rushed bacterial fermentation. "We go public," Ethan said. Vale gripped his shoulder. "Then let's make it loud." The live stream started shaky, Ethan's blooded face, the lab report, Vitoli's vial. "This killed Clara Vale." "It'll kill thousands," tires screeched outside. "Police?" "Farmer." "Put the phone down, Dr. Cross," Donovan's voice drawled from the doorway. A syringe glinted in his hand. "Let's discuss protocols." The syringe glinted like a serpent's fang in Donovan's hand. Ethan's phone still streamed live to 218,000 viewers, and counting. "End the broadcast," Donovan ordered, "or your wife loses more than her job." Rachel's muffled cry cut through the phone's speaker. Ethan's gut twisted. Last timeline, he'd let fear paralyze him. "No more." "You're live, Chief," Ethan said, angling the camera. "Tell the world why Clara Vale's life is worth less than Vitoli's stock." Donovan lunged. Thomas Vale's tire iron met Donovan's wrist with a crack. The syringe clattered away. "Go." Vale barked, grappling the chief. "Save my girl." The OR doors hissed shut behind Ethan. Clara lay ghost pale, ECMO machine breathing for her. Laura Chen stood at the scrub sink, trembling. "Donovan's orders," she said, avoiding his gaze. "Terminate life support at 8 a.m. Ethan tossed her the lab report. "Endotoxins from your handiwork. How many kickbacks did it take to forget your oath?" Laura's composure shattered. "My son's leukemia treatment, Vitoli's covered what insurance wouldn't." She gripped the dialysis machine. "What do you need?" They worked in frenzied silence. Ethan rerouted bloodlines through the ECMO, Laura adjusting heparin doses. Clara's kidneys had failed, just like last time, but now Ethan filtered her blood through stolen dialysis filters. "BP's crashing," Laura warned. Ethan's mind flashed to his death, Vale's knife, the parking lot, the choice to prioritize pride over truth. He switched clamps. "Flush the lines. Now." The monitors flatlined. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. Ethan didn't realize he'd stopped breathing until Laura gasped. The ECG blipped, a jagged peak. Then another. Sinus rhythm. Laura cried. Clara's eyelids fluttered. On the live stream still running from Ethan's abandoned phone, chat exploded. Holy shit, she's alive. Call 911. Big Pharma murderers. Police found Donovan attempting to flee via the helipad, Vitalis Pharma's CEO in tow. Rachel emerged from a squad car, her cheek bruised but triumphant. They've suspended Vitalis' license. The mayor's singing like a canary. Thomas Vale stood apart, clutching Clara's teddy bear. When Ethan approached, the veteran pressed the toy into his hands. She'll want this. You saved me, Ethan said. Nah, Vale nodded at the OR. You saved you. Epilogue. 6 months later, the free clinic smelled of antiseptic and fresh paint. Ethan adjusted the framed photo on his desk, Rachel laughing at their backyard barbecue, Clara blowing bubbles with her new service dog. A knock. Laura Chen hovered in the doorway, her scrubs pristine. I brought supplies. Ethan eyed the boxes, unmarked generics, ethically sourced. You test them? Twice, Laura said. Old ghosts flickered between them. He nodded toward exam room 3. There's a kid with appendicitis. Care to assist? That night, Ethan walked home past the shuttered hospital. Neon signs reflected in rain puddles. Vitalis CEO indicted. Whistleblower doctor opens clinic in his pocket. Clara's teddy bear rustled. He'd stitched its missing eye with blue surgical thread. Rachel met him on the porch. Admit it, you missed the OR. He kissed her, tasting mint and possibility. I'm exactly where I should have been all along. Somewhere, a resident double-checked a vial's lot number. Somewhere, a little girl hugged her father. And somewhere, the world inched toward healing, one stitched suture, one redeemed soul at a time.